Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today is part 14 of my fitness database series, and as I say every time, whether or not you're tracking fitness, the stuff I'm teaching in this series is great for any database. So if you haven't watched parts 1 through 13 yet, go watch those and come on back. And it just occurred to me, I've never done a series this long before. I think the longest one I had before was like 9 or 10. So we're setting records here, folks. All right, last time we set up the meal detail form and the meal form, this guy. One thing that bugs me whenever I go to a form like this and the first field gets highlighted like that, yeah, you can change it in the system options for every field in general. I normally like that when I'm tabbing through different fields, just not on that first one. When that description gets focused, I want the cursor to be like that. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Just for this form, I'm going to go to the description field here, open up its properties, find the onGotFocus event. This fires when this field gets the focus, when the cursor goes into that field, when you click on it, when you tab to it. All right, ... Here's what we're going to say. We're going to say description.SelStart equals the length of description. Okay, a couple things here. First, length gives you the number of characters in that field. So if it's, the word radar, there's 5. Okay, so that'll be a 5. And SelStart is where you want the selection to start. All right, so you could do like selection 0, 3, and you'll get that. Okay, if you set the SelStart equal to the length of the field itself, it basically puts the cursor at the end, like that. Watch, I'm going to close it, close it, close it, open it, and look at that. See, cursor sitting right there. And now if you accidentally hit a key, you don't wipe everything out. I've had that happen before. Normally, it comes in like this. You hit a key, and it's, oh, what was there? And if you don't know enough to hit escape, you lose it, right? So I like that. Okay. This video explains cell start and cell length in more detail. Let's make referential integrity now for this. So if we have, for example, food items used in a meal, we can't delete that meal. Now, this is up to you. You might want to allow people to be able to do that. I don't. If I got a meal all set up and then, I delete a food item, I don't want it disappearing from the meal, and then I'm going to plan my meals all out, and it's like, oh, that's only 400 calories, and then I forgot, oh, I deleted that fish, right? So I don't want that to happen. So again, database tools, relationships. This time we're going to add meal detail table, and we're going to add meal table. Okay. Meal ID to meal ID here, enforce referential integrity. That's correct. And then it's going to be food ID to food ID here, enforce referential integrity there as well. So you won't be able to delete a food item if it's in a meal, and you won't be able to delete a meal if it's got detail items. So we're starting to interlock all these things together. All right, close it. And I was also thinking we could, if you wanted to, put our own delete button on here and handle all the stuff like we did with the food list. But I don't think that's necessary. Again, I think meals are one thing that I'm going to just come in here once in a while and set one up and then not work with them that often. So we'll see. We might not. I don't know. We'll see. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. If we end up using that a lot, then maybe I'll put that stuff in there. All right. So now that I have an item in here, let's say rice, okay? If I were to try to delete that item from here, right, here's rice. Let's try to delete it. Okay, can't do it because meal detail T includes related records. That's fine. Now, what if I try to delete rice going this way? Make some more room here. We're running out of space now. We're getting to that point where the forms are getting kind of squished. Let's try it. Let's see. Let's find rice. Where's rice? All right. Let's hit delete. Delete. Are you sure? Yes. And okay. The form closed, but rice is still there. What's going on with that? Well, if you try to delete from here, right, we've got delete turned off. So the only way we can do it is with our delete button. And our delete button is using an SQL statement to do the actual deletion, right? It's using current db.execute and then an SQL statement. Now, the problem is, and I talk about this in the execute video and in my course, the problem is db.execute doesn't return any error messages unless you tell it to. Okay, there's another parameter you can put on over here called db fail on error. What that'll do is it'll throw an error for you. So you can see, hey, I was unable to do that. You can also use do command run SQL, but I don't like run SQL for a couple of different reasons. I talk about why in my execute video. I'll put a link to it down below. This guy. All right, so now that we've got this in there, this will actually throw an error if it's unable to delete that record. And now with that in mind, we can throw our own little error handling in here. On error, go to my error, or whatever you want to call it. And then after that, we'll turn it back off again. On error, go to 0. And then down here, if this is, if everything succeeds, we're going to exit sub. And after the exit sub, we're going to have my error. This is where it goes if an error is thrown. Message box, unable to delete item. Is it used in a meal, for example? You can actually do a DLOOKUP here and look it up if you want to. Okay? And then what'll happen is at this point, it'll just exit out of the sub. Or if you want, proper programming says, we'll put a my exit here. And then you should always resume after an error. We'll say resume my exit. All right, so if it throws an error, it comes down here, message boxes, resumes up to here, which then exits out. I know it's a bit of crazy, but I have several videos on error handling. I cover error handling in detail in my full course. This video will get you started. All right, so we got that taken care of. Now let's test it real quick and try to delete that rice. Delete. Yes. Unable to delete the item. Is it used in a meal? You could do a DLOOKUP and see if it actually is and say, sorry, it's used in a meal. You got to remove it from the meal first. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I don't care about going into that much detail. Next, I want to make a meal list, and we'll use that to get to from our main menu, just like the food list. Now, I want the meal list to show a list of meals and their total calories and protein. So I got, fish, rice, and veg, 640 calories, blah, blah, blah. Next one, morning cereal with this total here. To get this total, we're going to use a query, and we're going to use an aggregate query. If you've never used an aggregate query before, go watch this video. These are very powerful. I'm going to show you in just a second how you can use it. So let's create a query. I'm going to bring in my meal table and the meal detail queue, because the detail queue has the calculations in it. And let's make this an outer join, because you might have a meal with no items on it and you still want to be able to see it in the list, right? You might start making it and then you forget it, you close it, you go to lunch, and you forget to put the items in your meal. But you still want it to show up on the list. All right, I need the meal ID, I need the description, I need total calories, total protein. Now, if I run it at this point, we get pretty much each item. But I want to group these by the meal ID. What that'll do is it'll allow us to sum these ones up. So we'll go to Query Design, turn on Totals. This creates an aggregate query. These two should be grouped by, because they'll be the same. These guys will be sum. And now when I run it, look at that. See? You get each meal grouped by meal ID, and then the sum of the total of calories. And yeah, I'm going to leave that. That's a good field name. Sum of total calories. Fine. Okay. Let's save this as my meal list queue. And now we'll use this guy to make the meal list form. I'm going to copy the meal detail form because it's already a continuous form. So copy and paste. We'll call this the meal list F. Design U. All right, we don't need totals. because you're not going to total up all of your meals. And oh, someone's beaming in. Let's bind this to that query we just made, the meal list queue. And it's going to be a continuous form still. That's fine. Yep. Get rid of this combo box. This quantity can now become the description. Slide this over here. Go to all. Let's see what we got. This can be description. Copy. Paste. Don't forget to change the name too, right? And left align it. All right. This is now going to be the sum of total calories from the aggregate query, and this will be the sum of total protein. Okay. And then we just got to change this stuff. So we got meal name, and then, no, and then. Okay, right about those are still right aligned. We'll go there. Look good. Save it. Close it. Let's take a peek. Okay, that looks pretty good. We don't need this scroll bar down here on the bottom. So we can get rid of that and go in here and make sure under format, scroll bars, where are we? Scroll bars is just vertical only. Save it, close it, take a peek. That looks a lot better. And in fact, I think in our meal detail, we could turn that scroll bar off too. Let's see. Scroll bars. This one can be vertical only. Because then you get that big border area. See if it looks better. That looks about the same. But anyways, that's okay. All right. So our meal list. Let's stick a button for this guy on the main menu. So right here, design. We're going to copy the big button. Let's make this bold too. There we go. Copy and paste. This will be our meals or meal list, whatever you want to call it. Name the button so Alex doesn't yell at us. Meal list button. Right click, build event. Do command, open form. Meal. Why do I keep wanting to spell it mail? Meal list. I really can't spell today. Meal list F. No parameters. Close it. Open it. Click it. Okay, looks good. Maybe slide it up here. All right. Now, I'm going to do the same kind of triggering. When this guy gets a value, it's going to open up to the right of it. It's going to open up the meal list or the individual form. For this one, though, since we only really have one field and you can't go to these other ones, even unless you click on them, but I don't care if you click on them, we just really need to put that in the onCurrent event. So in here, we're going to go events onCurrent. And in here, we're going to open up the meal that you're on. So do command, open form, meal F, comma, chameleon, meal ID equals meal ID. All right. And so that should handle that. So if I open you up, you automatically get this guy open. And we're going to put it next to it over here. And we're running out of room again. Save. I might make this a little bit smaller. In fact, I can sacrifice a little space there. That doesn't need to be quite so big. Just enough for that scroll bar to appear. And it's still big. Come here. It's smaller. No. Let's see. What is taking up all that space? Well, let's go to there. Okay, that's better. Beautiful. All right. And you go to here, and you got that one. You go to here, and you got that one. All right. Okay, now you can't make changes over here. This record set is read-only because it's an aggregate query. And when I make changes over here, this won't update unless I manually update it. Because if you put changes in here, and you come back over here, it doesn't matter. Unless you close this form and reopen it or requery it, you're not going to see any updates. So let's put it in the after update event of this description field to reload this. And also let's put it in the onCurrent event down here. So if you change what this is or change the quantity, as soon as you move off of that record, it'll update all the numbers too. Okay? Not too hard to do this. We've done harder. So description, event, after update, we're going to say first save this record, me.dirty equals false. That'll save the record. And then if is loaded, meal list f, then forms meal list f dot record set dot requery. That way it leaves the cursor where it is. Okay, save that. So let's check that out, make sure that works. Okay, morning cereal 33. And then click. Okay, good. See, that updated over here. All right. And now let's do it in the form current event down here. Yeah, it'll run every time you move from record to record, but actually, let's put it in the after update event for that form down here. After update event for this form right here. Right? Event, after update, right there. We're going to say if is loaded, meal list f, then forms meal list f dot record set dot requery. All right, let's see if that works. Sometimes with subforms, the timing can be weird. Okay, let's change this to 2, and let's see if it updates from 640. Okay, good. It's 850. All right, let's try to add something. And good, that updated. Let's delete it. And see, that's the one case where it doesn't. I hate using on delete events too. So I think I'm going to go back to what I had before. I think I'm going to go back to putting it in the on current event. It'll recalculate this every time you move from record to record, but that's okay. It covers everything then. There's so many if, ands, or buts, and you don't want to have the same code in multiple places. I prefer doing it in the on current event. Unless you got a calculation that's really crazy, right? Let's take this and just stick it in the form current event. Right there. So yes, it'll run when you move from record to record, but that's okay. Save it. Debug, compile once in a while. And now let's try that again. All right, so here, let's change this to 3, make sure it updates. Yep. Now it won't update if you just change this. It won't update until you leave the record. Okay. If I add something in here, let's say I add another cup of rice, whatever, and then I delete it. And then as soon as you go to a different record, you're good. All right, close enough. We'll probably come back and do more with this. I might put our own delete button on here. I'm not exactly sure yet. This is one of those things that I haven't started really using myself yet. So the more I use it, which I will be over the next couple days, then we'll make some tweaks to it. And yeah, you can see why I like controlling deletes myself. There is an on delete event, but it's not reliable. I've got a whole video on why I don't like the on delete event. Now, if you want to add another item to this, okay, you've got to drop it down and search through this entire list of stuff, right? Or start typing what it is. Wouldn't it be nice if you could filter this list based on the food group? Well, in the extended cut for the members, we're going to set up cascading combo boxes down here. That's why I had to leave some extra space here. You can pick the group, like dairy, and then it'll filter this box so you can see all the dairy items in there. You can pick your yogurt. We'll hit an add button. It'll drop it up top. And if the item's already up there, when you hit the add button, it'll just increment the quantity. Here's a little preview. Let's add protein. It drops down automatically. Let's pick an egg, and then I'll go add, and then I'll hit add again, and then I'll hit add again, and now it's a 4-egg lunch or breakfast or whatever this is, right? Some smoked salmon. Add it again, add it again. All the totals are updating. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, and I already made this thing where you can double click here and it'll open up the food item. But we're gonna do this in the next lesson, in lesson 15 ourselves. So that's not special for that's not just for the members. You're gonna get that too. But the members are gonna get this little cascading combo box and the increment in the quantities. And that's all covered in the extended cut for the members. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut videos. I think we counted them. There are over 400 of them now. And gold members can download these databases and all that good stuff. And everybody gets some free training and nobody has to type if you're a gold member. So what are you waiting for? Join today. But that is going to do it for your tech help video for today. That's part 14. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow for part, wait for it, 15. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button right now and give me a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. And make sure you click that bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever I post a new video. Do you need help with your Microsoft Access project? Whether you need a tutor, a consultant, or a developer to build something for you, check out my Access Developer Network. It's a directory I put together personally of Access experts who can help with your project. Visit my website to learn more. Any links or other resources that I mentioned in the video can be found in the description text below the video. Just click on that show more link right there. YouTube's pretty good about hiding that, but it's there. Just look for it. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, tables, all that stuff. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? And if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. That's it. And it's free for members of my YouTube channel at any level. Speaking of memberships, if you're interested in joining my channel, you get all kinds of awesome perks. Silver members get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, and there's hundreds of them by now. They also get one free beginner class each month, and yes, those are from my full courses. Gold members get the previous perks plus access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos. Plus you get access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions and all kinds of source code that I use. And gold members get one free expert class every month after completing the beginner series. Platinum members get all of the previous perks, plus they get all of my beginner courses, all of them from every subject, and you get one free advanced or developer class every month after finishing the expert series. And you can become a diamond sponsor and have your name listed on the sponsor page on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time.